Okay, guys, we are going to talk about going from standard form to vertex form. Okay, let's rethink vertex form. Remember, vertex form looks like this. Y equals A, parentheses, X minus H, parentheses squared, plus K. Okay, so we need the H and the K. Well, do you remember what the H and the K were? The H and the K was the vertex. That's why it's called vertex form. So if we can find the vertex out of these standard forms, then we can just put it back into vertex form. So how do we find the vertex from standard form? Remember, it is X equals negative B over 2A. That is the key in all of these. Okie dokie. So let's check out number 1. Y equals X squared plus 8X plus 17. So I need to find the vertex to put it in vertex form. So I need to find the X value first. So I'm going to use the formula negative B over 2A. So negative, my B value is a positive 8, divided by 2 times A. My A in this case is a positive 1. So negative 8 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So it looks like my X value is negative 4. Now what? I have the X value of my vertex. I need to find the Y. How do you find the Y? Yes, you plug it back in to the equation. Up here, everywhere you see an X, we're going to plug in negative 4. So I'm going to use parentheses because it's negative. It could screw some things up. Negative 4 plus 17. Okay. So I get negative 4 squared. Notice the negative is in parentheses. So negative 4 times a negative 4 is a positive 16. 8 times negative 4 is a negative 32. And then I got a plus 17 in the back. Okay, so 16 minus 32 is a negative 16. And then negative 16 plus 17 is a positive 1. So it looks like my Y value is 1. So if I put this together, remember this is my H and my K in vertex form. So when I put this thing back together into vertex form, it's going to look like this. Y equals my A value. My A value is 1, so I don't really have to write the 1, but now I got parentheses. I have X minus H. My H is a negative 4. Notice I have 2 negatives because there's a negative in the equation right here and a negative H value of negative 4 squared plus my Y value, the 1. So when you simplify this, you get X minus a minus is a plus. You remember when we were doing transformations and I told you whatever this number is, change the sign? This is why, because when you put in a negative number, it actually forces it, the equation forces it to be positive. So the vertex is at negative 4, 1. So that means when you look at it in vertex form, it's actually going left 4, up 1, instead of right 4, because that H value was originally negative. Okay, so we just turned standard form into vertex form. All right, and we're going to use the same process for the next one. So I'm going to do number 2, and then I'm going to want you to do number 4. So let's check out 2. I got Y equals X squared plus 4X plus 8. So I'm going to need to find the X value of our vertex. So remember the equation that I need is negative B over 2A. So negative b, my b value is positive 4, divided by 2 times a. The a value in this case is a positive 1. So it looks like negative 4 divided by 2 times 1 is 2. So I'm getting a negative 2. So for my vertex, I've got a negative 2 as the x value. Okay, I got to go find the y, so I'm going to plug it into the equation, the function right here. So I'm going to plug in negative 2 everywhere I see an x. And I'm going to use parentheses because it's negative and things are getting squared and it could just get all sorts of crazy. Okay, dokie. I plugged in negative 2 everywhere I saw an x. So let's go ahead and simplify. Negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8. And then I got a plus 8 in the back. Okay, simplify some more. 4 minus 8 is a negative 4 plus an 8. So negative 4 plus an 8 is a positive 4. So it looks like the y value that matches this x value is a positive 4. So remember, this is my h in vertex form, and this is my k. So when I go to plug it in, I got y equals a, which in this case is a positive 1, so I don't have to write it, x minus h, which is a negative 2 squared, plus my k, which is a 4. So when I simplify, I get x minus a minus turns into a big old fat plus, and that's it. So final answer is y equals x plus 2, all that squared, plus a 4. So I just turned standard form into vertex form. So you can easily see what the vertex is in this. It would be negative 2, positive 4, because remember it's opposite of what you think due to the normal vertex form equation. Okay, so I want you to do number 4. I want you to try it out. So go ahead, pause the video, take a few minutes, and then come back. Ready, go. Okay, let's see if you got it. I'm going to go line by line. So first, I found my x value of the vertex, and I got it to be negative 1. So I labeled negative 1 as h. Then I plugged it into the equation, and I got positive 1 as my y value. So the vertex I got to be negative 1, positive 1. So there's my h, there's my k. So when I plug it into vertex formula, I get y equals x minus a negative 1 squared plus 1. So remember the minus times a negative minus a negative is a big old fat plus. So final answer, y equals quantity x plus 1 squared plus 1. How'd you do? If you messed up, it's probably due to some of these signs and either the multiplication or maybe the addition. All right, so just be very careful of your signs. All right, use a calculator if you're unsure of the mental math. Okay, no harm in using a calculator. All right, number 5 looks really weird, doesn't it? It doesn't have a C value on it. So does that mean the process is different? No, it's actually the same. Okay, it just works out such that there isn't a C value. All right, so let's go ahead and do number 5 together. If I can move the purple block. Okay, bye-bye, purple block. Okay, so same thing. So I'm going to say x equals negative b. Well, my b value is a positive 4. All over 2 times a, my a value is a positive 1 again. So it looks like negative 4 over a 2, which is a negative 2. Okay, got to go find my y value that matches. So I'm going to plug it into my equation. All right, so I got negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2. So then when I do the math, I get a negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. A 4 times a negative 2 is a negative 8. So 4 minus 8 is a negative 4. So it looks like the vertex is negative 2 comma negative 4. So when I plug this in to my vertex form equation, I get A, which is positive 1, so I don't have to write it, parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Well, when I put this together, I get y equals x minus a minus is a big old fat plus squared, and then plus a negative is just a minus. Okay, that's it, guys. Now, say you were on the test this Friday, right? And you went through this process and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I got this right. How am I supposed to know if I got it right? Well, you remember you've now just created vertex form. How can we go from vertex form back to standard form to check? Yes, we need to multiply this back out. If we multiply this back out and we got our original, then that means we did it right. If we multiply this out and we don't get our original, that means we messed up somewhere here in the middle, and we probably need to go back to the first step and try again. All right, so that's an easy way to check. And hint, if you have multiple choice and you don't remember how to do this process, guess what you can do? Just take the answers and multiply them out, and whatever gives you the original is the correct answer. Okay? Okay. I want you to do number 6 really quick. On your mark, get set. Wait for it. Okay, go. All right, guys, let's check. So I plugged in my negative b over 2a, and I got an x value of negative 3. I plugged negative 3 into my equation, my original function, and I got 4. So I got my vertex to be negative 3 comma 4. So when I plug that into vertex form, I get x minus a negative 3, which turns into a big old fat plus, and then I got the plus 4 in the back. So it looks like final answer, I get y equals x plus 3, all that squared, plus 4. Remember, how can we check this? We can multiply all this back out, and we should get back our original if we did it correctly. All right, and that's it, guys. So go ahead and work on your homework sheet. Have a wonderful Monday. Make good choices.